Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the August 22nd, 2024 Historic Preservation Meeting. This is a regular meeting of the Montclair Historic Preservation Commission. Notice has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting a copy of the notice on the first floor of the municipal building and by sending a copy to the Montclair Times, the Star Ledger, and the Herald News. We are being broadcast live on Channel 34 Montclair TV, and you can also pick us up remotely streamed on the YouTube channel, the Montclair YouTube channel. So, would you please call the roll, Sana?
Yes. Chair Bennett,
Present.
Vice Chair Graham, not here. Mr. Remnitz,
Here.
Mr. Bruni,
Here.
Mr. Sweeney is also not here. Mr. Giuliano,
Here.
Mr. Pierre is not here. Mr. Mixer is not here. Miss Floyd
Here.
and Mr. Smolin.
Here.
Thank you. So, our secretary is also here. Zana, how do you pronounce your last name?
Gosme.
Okay. And our attorney is not present tonight.
Yeah.
Janine Bauer. With that, we will address the minutes of July 25th, 2024. Does anyone have any changes or additions to the minutes?
No.
No? Well, I have a couple.
Of course.
As usual.
As usual.
On page 2, the Design Review Committee, under that bullet, it's just a grammatical error. Design Review Committee met with the representatives of the Upper Montclair Library Plaza. And then under the bullet for certified local government, the completion date for all work is September 25th, 2025. That's important, because that's our grant. On page 3, line 96 or 97, the commission noted that the Design Review Committee discovered that there is terrazzo floor, and terrazzo is spelled T-A-R-R-A-Z-Z-O. It's not one, it's two Z's, so that has to be corrected all the way through. And then the last line, the commission stated that this original material should be maintained. I can send these to you, Sana, all right? On line 109, the correct spelling is I always pronounce this, cementitious, which is a C, not an S. And then it's terrazzo in the entryway. And on page 5, line 151 to 153 should be struck because it was noted that it's not in the proposed Walnut District. And then on line 173, just strike the last line that's which is describing the Shade Tree Commission. It only needs that one sentence there, okay? And I'll send you this. You sent this in Word, correct? Okay, so I'll just send it to you with those my corrections. So with that being said, is there any other
No.
discussion? Would somebody like please make a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next is our resolution. Where do we have this? Resolution HPC 2024-05C, which is a revised signage application for Diesel and Duke at 20 Church Street. Has everyone had an opportunity to read this? Oh. This is the signage that they came before us. They simplified the design. And now what they're doing, they're putting vinyl stick-on letters on the one storefront. Is there any discussion? Would someone like to make a motion to approve this resolution?
I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the next resolution is 608 Valley Road, which is the new restaurant. I don't know how you pronounce this. Ginesto?
I think it's Minoru and Janetsu.
Jinetsu. Okay.
But please look at the version that I put on your desk that has the revision date 8/22. It's right on the top left corner.
Yes, I brought this, when I looked at the resolution, I asked Zana to change it because we actually did not discuss any signage in the rear of the building. So what we'll do, although we did ask them to come back, which is under the conditions. So when they come back with the conditions to the minor application committee, we will be discussing both the signage for the front and then signage for the rear. So, does anyone have had a chance to read the revised?
I just have a comment.
Mhm.
I've been by there a couple times since they started doing work, and we don't say anything here in terms of restoring some of the facade that they've uncovered.
Oh.
Some of the stonework around the entry that goes up to what was the restaurant upstairs has a lot of holes in it. The brick where they've been peeling things off has a lot of tar on it.
Oh,
So I'm sure in our meeting, we discussed that to some degree. So I would just like to make sure that
so
that's
under,
part of
under
it.
8, would be a condition that an additional condition, added another bullet, that the uncovered facade, both the brick
And the stonework.
and the stonework, be cleaned?
Cleaned and patched.
Clean, patched,
And, restored probably is maybe step too far for them, but there are holes in the stone that you would think could be filled with a cementitious material to match
right,
the stonework, so.
okay. So can you add that, is everyone in agreement with that? I mean, I think if we could still approve it with that additional bullet point. Good catch, John. All right, so would someone like to make a motion to approve with the addition that we just discussed, the amendment to it?
I move to approve with amendment.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Great. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Moving along, our committee reports. The Minor Applications Committee met on August 1st. Application 2024-23, Salon Monte on Bellevue was approved with conditions. Application 2024-24, Laval Nails on Lorraine was approved with recommendations. And application 2024-25, which is the Move House in the Bellevue Theater, was approved as given. So those are the 3 minor applications, and we are going to hear an application tonight that we had discussed during minor applications, and the office spoke to the applicant, and the applicant is here to discuss what they actually want to see there. So that's good. The outreach, our awards ceremony will be on September 5th at 7 o'clock, and we have 5 really good awards. We have a preservationist, a preservation service, and 3 brick and mortar awards. So the public is welcome, anyone out in the public. The people who are receiving the awardees will be given, Zana will write a nice letter, and you'll get a nice certificate. So we hope that public will come on September 5th at 7 o'clock. Our CLG grant is in the process. I know the office is working on a RFP for that, which should be up in September, I believe was the date, correct? September 24th? Do you have an update?
I don't know if they gave us an exact date. They said, create the RFP, and once they execute the contract, then we can move forward with putting that RFP out.
Okay. Has the contract been,
No.
but is that going to be happening?
That's in process.
In process?
Yeah, and they'll let us know when it's done.
Okay, great. Thank you. Does anyone else have any other comments about committees? No? Okay, so moving on, public comment. Is anyone in the public, would they like to come up and speak at the podium? No? Okay, hearing no public comment, I'll close that section. And old business, there is no old business, so we'll move right along to new business. And new business is application 2024-22, which is a signage application on Bloomfield Avenue, 349 Bloomfield Avenue, Chesney. And we have the applicant's contractor here, signage contractor. And are you the owner of the property?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The tenant.
Oh, the tenant, that's, okay. So, yes, so what I'll do is I will swear you in, and we had some questions about the signage as was proposed, but maybe you can describe to us what it is, and then, after you describe it, then the commissioners will ask questions. So if you raise your right hand and tell us your names and your relationship to the project.
My name is J.C. Aviles. I'm with Competitive Science and Graphics, and I'm the contractor to do the work for
Okay, thank you.
My name is Mohammed Chaudhry. I am the tenant at 349 Bloomfield Avenue.
And you're the owner? The tenant?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth in terms of this application? Okay, you're officially sworn in. So J.C., why don't you start with your,
Oh, can I provide?
yes,
Yeah.
please.
For you guys first?
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
Same here.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Mhm. If you, do you have another one to give to the consultant? Oh, no, I think you. And maybe you should give, yes. Because I know if Janine was here, we'd be marking this as an exhibit.
Right.
So I guess it's Exhibit 1A? Okay, please.
So, let me start, if you guys turn to page 3, let me start there, please. So I took the liberty of taking a picture during the day and at nighttime of the same sign we're gonna be replacing. Basically, this is an existing sign cabinet, it's illuminated with LEDs on the interior. Oh. Do you hear me?
Is it on?
It's on green.
Can you press it?
The green light should.
Okay, good.
There we go.
Okay. All right, so basically on page 3, I took the liberty of taking a picture during the day and at nighttime also for the sign. And it's basically a replacement of the existing face with a new one. As you will see on page 1, if you go back to that, it's a pretty simple layout of my client's logo here. And what we're going to do is exactly, if you go back to page 3 again, which is the sign on the right on the bottom part, it's what we call an edge lit illumination, which is almost the same thing as a reverse channel letter, where the glow comes from basically the edge in this case. Nothing comes through the front of the face at all, except just through the edge of the letters. And the black, of course, is a blackout film that doesn't allow any light through. There's no translucency through the black at all. And basically is replacing that with a new face on the existing cabinet, and that's pretty much the best way I can explain this.
Okay, so just to be clear, it's not a channel lit backlight.
Correct.
And what you've called it is a reverse lit illumination.
Right, reverse lit is what we call the reverse channel letters. This is an edge lit, where the glow only comes from the edge. It's a push-through acrylic letters in this case, in which the entire aluminum panel that you see in the front, there's no illumination through that at all. So we rat out basically the holes where the letters are going to go, but we push them through, and then it's about a half-inch thick, and then the glow comes only from the edges of the letters.
Okay, that was the
Yep.
confusion with the committee.
No problem, yeah.
Which we didn't understand. And so I'll just ask first, the background then has to be replaced. The
Correct.
background will be new because
face.
the face of it,
Yes.
otherwise you'll have all these letters,
Pretty
all
much.
these voids.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that's it.
all right, that was my question. John?
I'm not sure I understood your explanation.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a sign face.
Yes.
And you're pushing the letters.
So before we push the letters through, we route out the holes where the letters are gonna go, basically
Okay,
the face
okay,
of that.
you're right, so it
And then
becomes
we
a
push them
void.
through, and then they get glued from the back, basically. The letters have a flange.
Okay,
Think of it if the letters are half an inch thick, we actually route out a flange, which is another inch and a half around each letter, to actually be able to glue to the back of the face. But the front of the letter gets pushed through about 3/8 of an inch, where the LEDs that are in the back of the box hit those letters, and then you see the glow only on the edges of the letters. That's why we call them push through, because they come through the face, from the back of the face.
so it's lighting the material itself. It's
Yes,
lighting the edge
correct.
of the material itself.
And then the black, because this is black, it's an opaque black.
Okay.
So there's no
Got
light
it.
coming through the
Got it.
letters at all. so.
Okay.
So the three-dimensional letters, they're white, they're black on the face and white on the sides, or clear on the sides?
It's clear, because when they get routed out, you get a better glow when it's clear.
Okay.
So, yeah, instead of white, because white gets washed out, but the glow, because we used a special router bit, the glow is more even when you route it out unclear, so.
And just to be clear, you're calling this technique an edge-lit illumination?
We call it push-through edge-lit illumination, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Rooney, do you have any questions?
I think you explained it as best as can be. I have no questions.
Nick?
I just have one. So the hand and stone reference image on the last page, that's the same method as what you're doing, just another
Okay, so if
type
you
of
look at
sign.
okay, so if you look at the last page, I took that picture to show two things. One, the bottom part of that sign, it's completely what's not allowed by the code here in town. I've been doing business here for a long time, and I'm in town. So basically, that's a front-lit cabinet that should not be allowed. I mean, it's on the code. And the same thing for the logo on the right. So the illumination is coming through the front of it, which we're not doing. But the hand and stone massage, basically, those are reverse channel letters. They're not edge lit, which are allowed in town to do that kind of illumination. But when I just showed that reference to let you know that that's not what we're doing. I just
Okay.
showed,
Very good.
So
Great.
the reference go to the daytime and nighttime picture, so that exactly what they had before is what we're doing, with in the same face, basically, in the same cabinet.
I got it. We're going to
Yeah.
be talking about violations later in the
So the
meeting.
mochi nut is the one that we should be
Exactly.
looking
Yeah,
at?
that's
Okay.
exactly what we're doing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Ms. Floyd, do you have any?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. We should ask our consultant. He hasn't looked at this, I don't know.
You learn something new every night. I've never heard signage described like that. Like a sample would probably be helpful next time, of just like a letter on a acrylic backing or something. Yeah, the existing sign is illuminated or electrified, right? So you're not introducing
the
a new.
existing cabinet, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
And the new sign is where the existing sign is?
exactly. We're just replacing the face basically with the new letters. That's it.
And what was the rationale behind blacking out the windows completely?
Oh, they're not,
No, they're not there.
They're not doing
no,
that.
they're not
No.
doing, they're not allowed to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What this is the signage, which is the board and the blades sign, which is this one.
Yeah, the small bit is already existing, so we're just refacing that existing
Oh,
sign.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. No further questions.
And so then the blade sign, that's on the existing bracket.
Correct.
And then is that a vinyl?
No, what
is-
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it's a die bond aluminum
Uh-huh.
piece that's gonna go right over the existing one. Basically, just to cover that area, to keep it the same color, same everything, because it's the same material that's there already.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of a vinyl the problem that I have with vinyl is that if we peel that off, it's
Mhm.
gonna show ghosting, almost like when you tan, when you go to the beach and you're wearing a watch. So that's not gonna look good if we just put letters on top of that. So that's why I wanna replace both faces. And
Okay,
just-
so Zana, it's an aluminum face on the
Yep.
blade. And then what we would recommend, I know which is our usual recommendation, is that band, because I went down to look at it today, and the what is that? The sign band that's behind the proposed sign, it looks like it needs to be painted or cleaned or something.
I'm sure you can take care of it. Yeah,
And that's our typical
this part behind.
recommendation, to John's point before. Does anyone have any? Okay, so if you, Zana, just make sure that you use this language, which I've written it down, and now I'm going to have to say it again. Edge-lit, edge-lit illumination, I would say also known as push-through.
Yep,
Because
correct.
push-through is the thing so that when it comes again before us, we know what you're talking about.
No problem, yep.
Okay.
So just to clarify, it's either push-through or edge-lit, or is it push-through, edge-lit illumination?
Both. It's a push-through edge lit, basically.
Okay, so I can
Yeah.
describe it
Yeah.
all together?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
And make sure you have the language then for the blade sign as well. Okay, and then the cleaning of the, which I don't know if you repaint it, it almost looks like it has to be repainted, but then I know you'll run into an issue with your neighboring facade, your neighbor on the side. Anyway, clean and refurbish it, okay? Do you have any other questions for us?
No.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, look forward to it.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, we have to vote on
Oh, we
it.
got to.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sorry. Okay. So, can you read back what will be on the resolution, please?
Yes, so using the existing sign cabinet, replacing the face with a push-through edge-lit illumination. The letters will be pushed through 1/2 inch, and the glow comes off the edges of the letters. Letters are clear on the side. The sign band behind the cabinet should be cleaned, refurbished, painted if possible. And then the blade sign will have an aluminum face replaced on both sides.
And then what you need to do is put the measurements, which I know were on the original application. I don't know if they're on here. Is it?
It should be on the first page.
Right up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is, but it's the same.
The same exact.
It's same. So make sure you write that down, okay? All right, good. Thank you very much. No, we have to vote. Okay. Do someone please make a motion to accept the application as amended?
Motion to accept as amended.
Great.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, now you can go. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Okay. Our next. Next, we'll be listening to, we have a Board of Adjustment referral, application 2890, 48 North Fullerton Avenue. It's Rowan Diano, block 2310, lot 4. It's a bulk variance for the rear addition. And we are sending our recommendations and comments to the zoning board. 48 North Fullerton Avenue is in the proposed Walnut Avenue Historic District. The house was built in circa 1890s. It's a large 19th century vernacular style house. It is an old building, but due to inappropriate alterations over time, the subject property does not independently possess discernible historic integrity, and likewise does not contribute significance to a potential district. The proposed work at the subject property includes construction of an exterior addition to the rear, which is the west facade, construction of a rear northwest hardscape patio, and repair of the front east porch stairs. The proposed addition will be visible from Cottage Place, which is in the rear, and minimally visible from North Fullerton Avenue, which is the front of the house. So you are, it is a variance request, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if you would just identify yourself?
Yes, my name is Ivano Morlanda, Marulanda. I am the architect of the project.
You said that very quickly. Say that again.
Sorry. My name is Ivano Marulanda.
Oh, okay.
And I am the architect of the project.
Okay, great. And if you just raise your hand, I'll swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth
I
about
do.
this application? Okay, thank you. So see that the application, the drawings are up on the board. If you could just walk us through what you're proposing?
Sure.
And if you want to get up, do we have the handheld mic? Just in case you want to point, that's all.
Okay. All right, thank you. So basically, we're really not doing anything to the exterior. We're just going to add an addition to the back. Basically, it used to be a doctor's office, and they want to go back to put an apartment in the back. We're creating a new addition for the new kitchen. And we're using the same materials, same kind of look on the back. No change to the front.
Do you have another, can you push that forward? There you go. Okay.
Yeah. So on the left, you'll see the basement, no work there.
Mhm.
On the right, you see the first floor. The main street is at the bottom. And our addition is in the back. So basically, it's just this area right here. It's just a kitchen and a laundry area.
Okay. Can we see the next page, please?
In the second floor, there's an existing apartment, including the attic. No changes there either. On top of the kitchen, we are leaving a terrace for the apartment, so the apartment can walk on the roof of the kitchen extension. Those are pictures from the existing house. Again, there's really no changes except in the back. You'll see the only work, really, it's this piece right here. We use the same siding, putting new doors, new windows, a new exit to the back where they're parking. And there's railing on the second floor, as that is being used, the roof of the kitchen is being used as a terrace for the second floor apartment.
So that rendering to the right is what you're proposing?
Correct.
And to the left, the photo is what's existing?
Correct.
Okay.
That's all the drawings actually that we have.
I'm sorry.
That's it. We don't have any more drawings.
Oh, okay. So what is the square footage that you're proposing to add? Or maybe we can look on the planning report, figure 2?
Yeah, let's see.
Because you're still proposing the parking in the back, correct?
Well, the parking is existing.
Yes.
We're just modifying it to, right now, they're just paved. There's no line work or anything. So we're just organizing with new lines. The addition is 331.92 square feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which basically, if you look at figure 2 on the planning report, it's sort of like the middle third?
Correct.
Okay. Does everybody see that on the? Does that conclude your testimony?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So now our commissioners will ask questions of you, okay?
Okay.
Do you want to start, John?
I don't have my copy of the plans, but I remember looking
Here.
at the back facade, and I saw something that just bothers me.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna see if it's still here in this set of plans. You have a little overhang on the roof over the first floor.
That's correct.
And that bothers me.
The reason for that is that location of the door is where they have a window, and it just allows me for them to be able to come in.
Yeah, you know, what can I say? That's what's there for. I have a problem with it, but we'll get into comments.
Right.
I understand what's going on.
Okay. Steve?
What's the cladding gonna be on this?
Siding,
What kind?
the vinyl siding they have existing.
Vinyl siding?
Yeah,
Is that
correct.
what's on the
That's
main
what's on the rest of the house, correct?
Okay. No other questions?
Nick?
Yeah, just, what is the railing material?
We're thinking of the same vinyl railing for it.
Same railing type for the landing off the kitchen and the
Correct.
second floor?
Yeah, it'll be the same material, so it goes along.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, that's my only question.
Ms. Floyd?
I'm somewhat in agreement with John on this lip, but my question is it required? Is it causing anything in terms of the flow of,
Right.
gutter use, or is it purely aesthetics?
No, it's basically, otherwise I have to open up on the wall. So I have to change the header. It's a little bit more work for them. If it's requested, I can go to the client and tell them, look, you will need to move the door within the existing building. Because right now it's a window, so we're just using that same space.
Can't make it any smaller. Because you're not
No,
so
actually,
far out.
because this is the door, you want it,
Yeah.
to have that size.
Okay.
We'll have to just move it if that's what's being requested.
So you're putting a door where there's an existing window?
Correct.
Gotcha, okay. But in terms of the floor plan, I see that little box next to it. Is there anything in the floor plan that would make it unable to move it to the left? This way you can have the railing line up?
Yeah, that's some mechanical things. I think that's the boiler, for this. So they'll have to move that in order for me to avoid the lip.
Okay.
Does it make it better if it's symmetrical, if I do the same thing on the opposite side, or is just being overhang that kind of bothers? It should be the last page, G200.
There's nothing symmetrical going on that I can see. I just object to that little lip overhang. And I realize you have to alter the head of the door, but compared to all the other work you're doing here with this addition,
Okay.
it's minor. And if there's a radiator sitting there in the corner, it's easy, based on what I see here, without knowing any more than just the graphics, if I could imagine, that just needs to be rotated.
Yeah, they can
So
move
it's
it.
not the end of
No
the
problem.
world, so to speak, so.
Yes. We can work on that, yes.
Are there any questions? Are there any questions from anybody in the audience? No. Okay, so any other more questions from the commission? We'll have Mr. Smolin give his opinion. So you did receive our consultants,
We did, yes.
yes, okay.
Okay. Hi, good evening,
Hi, good
Mr.
evening.
Guerra. Would you agree that the proposed addition is visible from Cottage Place,
Yes, it is visible.
but minimally visible from North Fullerton, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't be
Or-
able to see it, no.
You're saying not visible. Okay. I think overall the property has had some, to put it lightly, inappropriate additions.
Hmm.
And I think what's being requested tonight is potentially an addition to an addition, or within the partial footprint of where an addition was once put on. The property's lost its integrity of design, its materials, its workmanship, if it ever had any integrity of workmanship. I'm not sure it did. So I don't think much damage historically is being done to a resource that already doesn't have much discernible historic integrity. The rear facade, where the addition's going in particular, I think lacks any significant character-defining features. So if an addition has to be put on the house, that's a pretty good place to put one. What they're before the zoning board to request is essentially that the addition be somewhat like an extrusion of what I think is an earlier addition, which is why they're requesting that side yard setback variance. So I think that's appropriate to grant here, because should they not get that, they're going to end up with a very awkward offset addition that could really be an eyesore.
Mm.
So I think overall the project is, or the addition is something that you could approve with really no damage to any historic resource.
Okay, thank you. And I just have a question on the planning report, figure 5. Is there a garage in the back?
No,
It
it's a
looks-
shed.
Oh, okay, a shed. That's going to stay? That'll stay?
Uh,
Not in that
yes, that's staying.
Okay. It's just hard to figure out
Yeah.
where the parking and how much parking was going to be. So the asphalt in the back is staying for the parking.
Yeah,
There-
we're actually uncovering, if you see page G000, the whole thing is paved all the way to the house. So we're actually uncovering a piece that is really not needed for a driveway, so they can have some grass area.
Oh, that was going to be my question.
Yeah.
Is there any attempt to really remove any of the impervious? Well, that's a plus. Right.
I'm sorry, this piece right here, this is where
Yes.
the asphalt is being removed and replaced with grass area.
Okay. All right. So we'll open up for discussion now. Mrs. Floyd?
I don't have any other questions.
And what do you think of the overall project? I mean, we have to send our recommendations, without designing the project, our recommendations to the zoning board, and as Mr. Smolin just indicated, they're requesting a variance, so it's a side yard variance, and do you have a
Yeah,
problem? with-
I don't see where the recommendation couldn't be accepted on, as far as
Okay.
we're concerned, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Giuliano?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the bulk will be the zoning board's decision, but I don't think matching the side yard setback that's already there adversely affects the neighborhood. It's not like they're intensifying a condition. You know, the lots in that area are narrow and pretty packed out to the sides as it is, so I don't think it contributes any kind of problem to it that, you know, is not already an existing condition. You know, and I think, given how simple of a project it is an improvement. You know, if you're looking at that property from the rear now, you can see some grass, some pavers, some windows on the back facade, a nicer door and stair. So, you know, given that it isn't really a historically characteristic building, you know, the addition is just simple to match it. I do think it is a pretty big improvement if you're looking at that building from the other side of the property. And like you said, from the front, there's, you know, you don't perceive any of it. So I'm in favor of it.
Thank you. Mr. Rooney?
You're eliminating one parking spot, but that keeps you,
No, there's no line work. It's just paved and they park as they can. So we are organizing them and showing that we can fit 4 cars.
4 cars, and that's
So
what's
yeah, 2
required
families,
for
so 2 cars per family.
For each apartment.
So
Yeah.
there's no variance for parking, is that what you're
No,
saying?
no variance.
Okay.
No variance of parking. And the side, well, the side dimensions what it is, it's, nothing you can do about that. That's fine.
John?
Yeah, I think in general, it's an improvement for the site, just to have less pavement, a little more grass. And my only comment is getting rid of that little lip on the second floor.
No problem, we'll do that.
I'm in agreement with my colleagues, but the one thing I would like to mention is that you've said that it's going to be clad in vinyl to match the front of the house.
Correct.
So I understand that you want it to all look uniform, but the railings, I think, would be something that maybe you have to do a natural material.
Wood?
Wood would be fine.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that change.
okay. Anybody else have any comment about the material?
Yeah, that was actually going to be my question. We don't approve vinyl fencing, do we? Or
We don't.
railings in
Really?
general?
Vinyl anything.
Vinyl anything.
Well,
Yeah,
we
so I'm
don't.
Yeah, so I think that's right, I think.
Yeah.
No problem, we'll make sure that we'll put a wood railing for both, for the top
Yeah.
and for the stairs that go to the
And the
first floor.
stairs as well?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so that will go into our recommendations. Okay? So do you have them, I think we have 4 or 5?
All right, let me know if I got them all.
Mhm.
Removing the lip on the second floor. The railing should be in a natural material for both the railings and the stairs.
Well, you could say wood.
Wood.
Mm.
And that's all I have.
Yes, because the 2 things that I see as improvements are limiting the impervious surface and also the parking to become more organized. And so the shed will remain. The shed will remain, or you don't?
Yes, they're keeping it.
They need a shed, but you don't know
Yeah.
if it's going to be that one. Okay.
Should we put wood or composite for the railing in case they decide to go with like
Oh, that's a good
AZEK
idea.
or something?
Yes, okay.
That's more durable, yeah, so
Yeah.
they
Okay.
might like that, thank you.
Yes, okay. Any other? All right, so that's the recommendations that will go from us to the zoning board, rather.
So
And do
one
you
of-
have this
One
on?
of them is to have organized, like, marked parking spaces.
No, they don't,
Okay.
no, I'm just saying that the way that they've organized it, that
Okay.
they have 4, that'll be something that you're not requesting a variance, so that's.
No,
And you're reducing the surface.
correct.
And adding grass, so I think that's a positive thing. But when does this go to the zoning board? Do you have a date?
It is, if you will be ready, September 18th?
I'll let the attorney know.
Okay,
Yes.
let us know, because
Yeah, okay.
we have some flexibility now.
Sure,
Okay, yes, you have to let them know so that they can put it on the schedule.
correct.
Okay, great. All right, well, if that's, if no other questions? No, okay, thank you very much. Enjoy the evening.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, the next up is our discussion, excuse me, last meeting, we discussed writing a letter to the council about about the formation of a shade tree commission to lend our support. And although it wasn't a unanimous vote, we did have a majority, so Zana kindly put together a letter, which you should have have with you. I seem to have lost mine. All right. So I think that if you go, thank you very much for doing this. It was really, I
That's
think
good.
you've done a great job. So I think the things from the HPC, we've listed 5 things that are important. It's tree preservation and removal oversight. This is for the commission, not for us, for the Shade Tree
Thank God.
Commission. Yeah. Urban forestry planning and management, public education and outreach, coordination with other departments and stakeholders, and monitoring and enforcement. So does anyone have any discussion about this? Otherwise, we will sign it, and the next step will be to get it in the hands of the council, the mayor and council, so that they can discuss it, I guess, at the next meeting. When is the next council? They had one last Monday, right? Okay, all right. September 5th, that's our award ceremony.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not. Would you mind checking? Because we might have a conflict
Conflict,
in
yeah.
this room. Anyway, let's get back to the discussion on this.
There is a tree ordinance right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, but not a commission.
Not a commission.
Just like there's an HP ordinance and the HP commission.
Commission.
Right.
So,
Is there a forester for Montclair?
Yes,
We
yeah,
had
there's
one.
there's
Arborist.
Okay.
we still have one. Yeah.
So as Anna's looking that up, is there anybody from the
I-
public that wants
yeah.
to?
I think the best part of this is the enforcement at the end, quite
Yes.
frankly. I drive all over town.
I
And I
know.
wonder what's going on half the time, and instead of, at least maybe there'd be someone who's aware of what filings were being made or not being made, without having to go to whoever filing an Oprah so I can find out if, what's there. And that's too much work to track things down. So I think the best part of this is the monitoring and enforcement part of this.
It's interesting you should say that, because I used to hear the leaf blowers all the time, and now I hear them taking down trees. It's like every day they're taking down trees
Grinding them up.
and grinding them up, yeah.
That's the noise.
And a big tree, I mean, around the corner from me, they've been working on this tree for 2 days. Okay, do we have it?
Paid by the
It's
hour.
on September 10th, the next council meeting.
Oh, good, okay.
Sorry.
All right, no, I'm glad you brought it up, because we would have been surprised had we all congregated here. All right, so we're in agreement then that the letter will go to the, okay, thank you, and thank you again. And then we have our letter to the interim superintendent of the Montclair Public Schools, which is concerning the demolition of the ticket booth, the historic ticket booth at Woodman Field. So I had written to Dr. Pons and had called the Board of Ed probably 3 times. Unfortunately, he's passed away in June, I guess. So with the new interim superintendent, we will send this letter now.
Yeah, and just an edit to the dear, it'll say, "Dear Mr. Cooper."
Right,
Okay.
right. And his name is D-A-M-E-N, it's not Damien, it's not with an I. Just double check that. So, in case people don't know, when they started the demolition and the reconstruction of the field, there was an historic, very small wooden ticket booth that was part of the original design from Starrett and Van Vleck, which was, who did most of the school buildings in Montclair. And it was taken down, just demolished and thrown into a dumpster. But I actually have seen the drawings for the original drawings, which indicate that it was on, and it mentions it in a Montclair Times article about the ticket booth. And then I saw the ticket booth was to remain during the whole renovation of the new site. So the one thing that the neighbors told me was that that a lot of the athletes that had come through Montclair school system, high school, had actually signed the wood on the inside. So we're hoping not only to, create the ticket booth, but to have some aspect of memorializing what was on the inside. I don't know if it's too late to capture that, but we can certainly try. And I have a couple of the framed Tudorish elements that are now residing in my garage, so I'll have to get an architect.
Yeah, I think the value of this letter also is to just make the superintendent and the school board aware that we care about these things. And that we'd like to be able to review plans without it just bypassing us completely. So, especially when you see something that was destroyed that they weren't even thinking they were going to destroy, so.
All right, so this letter then, can we send it a registered letter, snail mail, as opposed to email? Okay, because I've sent, they've never responded, so I think we really want to get a response. And then a follow-up, maybe, email, whether they've received it. Okay, all right, thank you. Next on is violations. So there are a lot of violations up and down Bloomfield Avenue and things that haven't come before us. In the past, we were fortunate that the consultant was able to walk and look at the business district. So I don't know if we have that in our budget or if we should plan on that. This is just many violations. We're not getting at the specific violations at like 11 South Fullerton. So how do you feel, what do you feel about, how do you feel about addressing this violations of signage and awnings?
If we see something, let's forget about surveying all of Bloomfield Avenue at the
Right.
moment. What's the process now? We let the planning people know, then they send someone out to that particular address to look at it?
Yeah, from what I remember Janice saying last time is you let us know there's a violation, we issue them a letter, and then if they continue to not heed the contents of that letter, eventually the code enforcement official can go out there and start fining them.
So, that being the case, I'd be happy to walk up and down Bloomfield one day
Okay.
with whoever
Do a
wants to,
baseline.
and make a list of those properties that we think are in violation. Now, thinking that they're in violation and actually being in violation based on maybe some approval that we're not aware of, or I guess that would be the purview of the planning
Yeah,
people then.
we can check in, and if you believe there's a violation, we can look at the application history and the resolution history to see if there is something around that. If it's like a zoning violation, then Richard would review it, Richard Sharoon, the zoning officer.
So what I've noticed is that and correct me if I'm wrong, but the signage that goes up has to be approved by the HPC because it's in a historic district. And what I've noticed is that because we're on the minor applications and also in front of the, with this panel or with the commission, that there are new signs that I know haven't come before the commission. So with that, if that's the case, they haven't gotten an approval. So I think that's the more dire, thing at this point. Not somebody who's gotten approval, and we've spoken to JC and told him what they can do and what they can't do. So
He knows.
yes,
So should we issue a letter to all of the stakeholders up and down Bloomfield?
well, this is the other thing I was thinking. Now perhaps it would be a good thing to get in touch with the bid. The new Jason has left, and do they have a new bid?
Abby is the interim director, I believe,
Okay.
until they find someone else.
Well, maybe we could speak to the bid director and formulate a letter to the business owners. Maybe that's rather than walk around and
Are we addressing signs that have been existing for a long time that did not come through, or is this just the new signs that are gonna come up, or?
well, I think it's all signs that we think are in violation.
Okay.
And you can actually, you double check that by going into Montclair E-code and putting in the address, and then what'll pop up, because everything is approved by resolution. So it's all in E-code. So if they don't have a resolution approval, then you know that it's a sign that's just appeared out of nowhere. Or like what you said tonight about the blacked out windows, right, you know.
20%.
Pardon me?
Right, I was thinking this, and that's a real, that was the store that was there, with the whole window being covered, and I thought it was only supposed to be 20%.
Well, they're not supposed to have,
be opaque at all.
they're not supposed to be opaque at all, and so I think that's another, but I think maybe the first thing to do is to reach out to the bid and tell them, maybe, you know, with a letter, ask them when they have their next meeting, and maybe somebody can go and just speak to them, and actually have a copy of our signage ordinance would be a good thing, you know, so that they know. And then after that, maybe we can, you know, maybe look at the idea, and then we can do.
I think what you're saying is we're gonna warn them that this is a process that
Right.
we're gonna start
Yeah,
enforcing, and here's your chance to
right.
just be aware.
Well, I think we need to
Yeah,
do
no,
it.
I think that's the proper
Okay.
way to approach it.
I'm happy to help out if, you know, you and Janice want me to. We've done a couple of these sweeps in Hoboken
Oh,
on
okay.
Washington Street, and I would just say, I think for everybody's sake, it's best to prioritize violations where there's a loss of historic fabric
Mhm.
or a condition created that's going to result in like the deterioration of a historic building.
Mhm.
So you definitely want to focus on the contributing resources in the district
As
first.
well, while we're doing this.
Mhm.
I'd say primarily.
Primarily.
So you don't really become like a HOA that drives, you know, the town crazy. I would go after the big, important stuff that's at like the core
Okay.
mission of an HBC first, and then come back for, you know, if someone got red signage approved but installed pink signage or stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, you could look at probably any building in town and find a violation if you look hard enough.
Hmm.
So,
You're so
Okay.
positive.
All right, so Zana, we have our process set up, okay? So you'll get in touch with Ami, who is it?
His name's Abhishek. So
Abhishek?
it goes by Abhi.
Abi,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, great. So those are our 3 discussion points. Is there anything else that anyone would like to bring up? No?
No.
Okay. So with that, we will have a motion to adjourn. And our next meeting, I will not be here. I believe it's September 15th. No, 15th, September 17th. So, but I will see everybody on September 5th at the awards, except for Steve, who'll be in Ireland.
I'll be in Ireland.
Yeah. Okay, so can we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
A second?
Second?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're still.